Let's face it, a lot of people are moving to Miami, whether you're a local or someone brand new to the city. All it takes is finding a really good roommate to make it worthwhile so that you can split all those bills. But what about all the complications that are involved in finding a roommate? In this episode, we're gonna discover some of the tips in order for us to make a proper living here in the city of Miami by finding a good roommate. How do I get an OnlyFans roommate in Miami? Would an OnlyFans model make a good roommate? That's something that's a very personal question to ask yourself. You might be considered as a potential partner to be filmed with, which will probably ruin your reputation. Let's say if you got a salary job, but hey, at least you enjoy it. But what about when they bring someone else and then you got to listen in on that? What if you're fixing yourself lunch and then you walk in on your OnlyFans roommate doing a video while you're making a sandwich? Would you still keep your appetite? Those are very big pros and cons to consider. Let's say you move in and the person that is living with you is the plug. He's going around Brickell, serving up the dope. You're stressed out from a day of work. He gives you some of the finest strains.
I'm gonna do it. Go for it.
If you want to go party, you got a baggie of that good stuff. But then, what if you get overboard? Because you owe him a lot of money. So now the plug sees you as an op, and now you're living with the enemy.
Don't make a fool out of me, man. Don't make a fool out of me.
There could be a downward spiral, or it can be one hell of a party. Nothing in life is free. And sometimes it takes a drug dealer for you to realize that. I think the best advice when it comes to finding a roommate is you got to move in with someone you know and trust and that you've known for a while. And even then, it's not even good enough because once you start living with someone, they become a completely different person.
I don't know you anymore.
You think you're cool? Wait until you have to start splitting bills. Wait until the dishes start stacking up in the sink. Wait until there's dirty laundry and you're cleaning laundry that's not even yours. Oh, that's a fight. What if they start eating the food that you bring? You got leftovers. He wakes up at 3 a.m., opens up the fridge and sees your delicious tiramisu from that 5-star Brickell restaurant. And he has the audacity to eat it. So I think another good tip to have is you got to buy lots of locks. You got to lock your closet, your drawers, your room, and most importantly, your fridge. Have your own separate fridge. You gotta put diarrhea powder to those mofos eating your food in the fridge, but then you fuck up your own food. Why would you put laxatives on your own food? It's like, if I can't eat it, no one's gonna eat it. Oh my God, this cheesecake is amazing. I'm stuffed. I know that if I leave it in the fridge, my roommate's gonna eat it. There you go, you little bastard. Eat that. Sometimes the whole food situation can be so bad when you have a roommate that you got to set up a Ring camera. And then when the fridge door opens, it turns on that little red light to remind them that they're being watched. And then you know what you do? You include it in the whole security system where your roommate also has access. So when they open up the fridge, they get a notification too, reminding them that you can see them eating your food. Hell, you don't even got to open the door. You could stay right there in your room and speak to them through the speaker, right? I brought cheesecake. Don't you dare eat it. A tip for people looking for a roommate is you got to have agreements in place. So now all of a sudden it becomes a business transaction. What's weird about agreements when it's a roommate, it's between the two of you. I don't even know how you're going to bring it to court. Like, how do you bring an agreement to court and then you're debating about dishes in the sink? Look at this mess, Your Honor. Exhibit A. And then you got a whole bunch of dishes. I didn't eat none of that. Do you have any evidence that you didn't make mac and cheese on that pot? I don't eat mac and cheese. I'm vegan. I've been vegan for years. All right, can you please provide some? Here's my grocery list, Your Honor. How do you prove? There's no proof. The people of Miami are not going to uphold any agreement whatsoever. So that tip, I don't really think is a good one. What are the prerequisites for finding a good roommate? Does it have to be specific? Because if you move to Brickell, you're more likely to find someone that is in the same situation you're in. But if you move to Coral Gables, you're probably going to be moving in with someone a bit older. A lot of guys out there don't mind being in with a little sugar mama, you know what I'm saying? Hell, maybe even your sugar mama can cook you up something nice. Maybe it could be like a surrogate mother. Maybe she could pay your bills. They probably got access to the country club. Hey, Abigail, since you're going to the country club tonight, can I be your +1? Next thing you know, you're mingling. You're wearing a Bad Bunny shirt around people that are in their 60s and retired. And you're just like, cheers to another great night in the Coral Gables Riviera Country Club. I think Coral Gables is a great place to find a roommate. I think that's where it's at. You got all that old money there. Because Brickell, everyone is on the same path, right? You just moved to Miami. Where's the hot spot? Where are there great views of the skyline? Where is there a plug every 500 feet? It's Brickell. Wynwood is a little more, I don't know, but I know they got mid-rises in Wynwood, but it's still a little sus because the crime happens like kamikaze. It always happens in Wynwood where it's like you just think that it's a creative hub and there's art and food and bars, and the next thing you know, there's a shootout in the streets. Like, where did this come from? I think if you move in with the plug, it'll most likely happen in Wynwood. Thank you very much for tuning into the Miami Comedy Podcast. Subscribe, support the podcast any way you can. And if you have any sort of feedback or tips on finding a roommate in Miami, leave it in the comments below. I'll see you on the next episode.